Napoli talk. I'm just gonna wait for everybody to get on to this live stream, guys. While we do that, why don't we take a little bit of a recap into what happened with the game? So 1-0 to Juventus at the Allianz Stadium, guys. Tough game, tough game. Let me make sure that everything here is working, guys. That the chat is working, because as you know, I'm not on my computer right now, just on my phone. I got the Burj still behind me, guys. Let's see. You guys are starting to come on to the chat. That's good to see, guys. Make sure that you comment your thoughts and opinion on this game. It's tough. It's tough, guys. Really, really tough. Let's see some of the first chats, guys. I want to read them all. So, Danger says we lack confidence today. Justin Giuliano says lazy defense. Yeah, it was a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I wouldn't say we lacked confidence. I would say we lacked a bit of sharpness with Kvara. Maybe at some points. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more. L.K says, what is happening? I need to stop watching before I get a heart attack. I'm not mad, just disappointed, says Chicho in the chat. Yeah, guys, it's really disappointing. At this point, you can't really be mad at Mazzarri, for example. You have to actually applaud Napoli for playing better than against Inter, which was better than against Real Madrid. So there is an improvement. I would say the biggest thing right now is that we're still not playing like Spalletti, and that's the bad news. The good news is that we're not playing like we were under under Garcia. So yeah, pros and cons, I guess. Let's see if I can actually find a way to hold this light so that I don't have to always be moving around with my finger place to have it. All right, so let's go on the live chat and see. Sorry for this angle, guys. I mean, you have to realize I'm on my phone, not on my computer these days. Spencer says subs need to come on sooner. Complacent and flat for most of that game. Yeah, we were super flat, guys. I mean, we didn't react to Juventus scoring the goal. Brandon Miyoris' positioning and movement off the ball is a problem. We mostly played well. We didn't finish, says Adam Miller. Yeah, Brandon's comment is super interesting, guys. I wish I had my computer and I could post the screenshots of the match for you guys. Right, there we go. I wish I could post the screenshots of the match, because if you guys take a look at Gatti's goal, the positioning of Napoli's defense was horrible. Juan Jesus was late to position himself. A lot of defenders and midfielders covering areas of the box that didn't need any covering, and that just let Juventus cross the ball. We are so predictable. It's the same exact goal that we basically concede every single time. Go take a look at the Fiorentina game. Go take a look at the Inter game, the Milan game. All of them, we just have these crosses come in from deep, from the 3/4 area of the box. They come in, and our defenders, Mane, can't jump if their life depended on it, and that's what happens. Let's see some more comments. Let's see. Every time I have to read the comments, I have to get the camera closer to me because it's on my phone, and this angle doesn't do me any good. Zanoli with one leg is better than Nathan, says Alessandro De Marco. Yeah, Zanoli came in, actually was quite good today. Made a great tackle on Chiesa. I think we all enjoyed that one. He continues to say, we like defense and everything else. Kvara is the most overrated player I've seen. Troppi stranieri mediocri. Il solito problema del calcio italiano. So what he said in the second part of the comment is that there's too many foreign players that are very mediocre, and that's the problem with Italian football. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, us losing today has nothing to do with how many foreigners are on the field or not. I mean, The very simple reason why we lost today is that when you play these games, when you play Napoli, Inter, Napoli, Juve, these kind of things, especially when you're away from home, so a Juve Napoli, guys, both teams are gonna have one or two opportunities to score in 90 minutes. It's not FIFA, all right? It's not end-to-end football with a million different good opportunities. That's not what happens in football in these games. In Serie A, maybe in the Premier League it's a bit different, but in Serie A that's not what happens. In Serie A you get one or two chances. The difference today is that the one or two chances that we had, which were even easier for us, we missed them. Whereas Juventus, the one chance that they had, they scored. That's the difference between the two teams. It's always going to be like that in the Serie A, where the difference is minimal. It's about whether you take that one or two chances or not. Guys, make sure you are smashing the like button. As you guys know, I was in Dubai this week, still in Dubai until tomorrow. Super, super nice experience, guys. So that's why I've got that nice building, very tall building behind me. Let's see some more comments. The space in between Juan Jesus and Nathan on the Vlahovic miss in the first half is concerning. I did notice that too. Brandon, let's go to Fabrizio. Hi, Dom. I will wait for the next matches. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So, guys, Mazzarri came on with a very, very tough schedule. Atalanta, Real Madrid, Inter, Juventus. All right, okay, we got one win out of four. It's almost kind of predictable that would happen. Also because there's very limited things that Mazzarri can actually do in such a short amount of time, and the things that he's worked on, I can see a difference. I can see that the team is at least slightly closer to what Spalletti had. If the players are missing easy chances, it's not really his fault. Like, this game should have been 1 or 2-0 for Napoli in the first half before Gatto. And you can't put that blame on Mazzarri. What you can blame Mazzarri for is, why did we not see Zanoli earlier? He came on and he looked amazing. Why are we still playing Juan Jesus? Why are we still playing Rachmani when Ostigard is the better defender? So we can blame him for those kind of things, but yeah, we can't really blame him for much else. And then we just have to realize that, okay, after this weekend, we're probably going to be somewhere like 7th or 8th. And let's not even take a look at the table, all right? Let's concentrate on the next few games. Let's try to convert these performances that are improving into wins against teams that are a bit less strong than Inter and Juve, and let's work our way up without thinking of the table. All right. There's a lot of you in the chat right now. A lot of you guys are talking. Alessandro's very mad at Kvara, saying he's doing nothing for this team, and Adam is saying he's our best option on the left, which I agree. Finger that I have in front of the camera, guys. Again, sorry for the setup, but as you can see, I'm clearly not at home. I clearly do not live next to the Burj Khalifa. Danger says he missed one shot, but what I realized, Napoli passed not too much on Kvara. So let's talk about that one. Guys, I think the objective of Napoli today was to play more on the right-hand side, get all the Juventus team on the right to Politano, to Di Lorenzo, and then try very fast switch the ball to Kvara, where he has then space to attack and make the difference. That, I think, is the plan that we had. It didn't really work out, but I can see why Napoli did that. And Mazzarri was talking in the press conference yesterday before the game, saying, hey, if we see that Kvara is getting man-marked by 2 or 3 players, we got to play on the other side. So that was the reason why we were doing that. Let's see some more comments. Raspadori seems to be more confident. I need him to be a starter, says Helcom. But a starter over who? Politano's been playing well. You can't really take off Osimhen. So what's it going to be, guys? Let's see. Zevdan says Kvara should be put on the bench to come to his senses. Maybe, yeah, maybe put Raspadori for Kvara the next game. I think there's an element of these players thinking that they're a bit untouchable. After Scudetto, it's hard to criticize these players, especially the ones that are getting all the awards, that are flying out internationally to collect personal trophies. I think maybe a little bit of humble, um like a humble bath would be good for them. Let's see some more comments. Ossie is way too isolated up top, says Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. He was isolated. Napoli tried the long ball all times towards Osimhen, and it didn't really work. They always had three players right on Osimhen, and I don't have a problem with playing long balls because you can play a very effective long ball if you're giving that guy the opportunity to get into the space, or if there's someone right next to him where as soon as he yeah, humble pie is the word. Yeah, I didn't, yeah, whatever. But anyways, as soon as Osimhen gets the ball and chests it down, he has someone to lay the ball off to. Basically, as soon as you play that long pass, someone's other than Osimhen also has to be there. You can't just leave Osimhen alone up top. And yeah, we're seeing too many of these long balls that are getting played like that. Let's go to some other comments, guys. Uh, there's a lot of talk about Mbappe in the chat. Um, Mbappe misses chances as well. There's no one that doesn't have a bad night, says Danger. And Zevdan says Mbappe and Kvara are different. Mbappe is 1,000 times better. Alessandro says Mbappe is world class. Kvara has not and has been poor for months. I do agree that Kvara has actually been quite poor generally for a few months, maybe even since March of last year. And yeah, that's just something that he's got to work on. He's got to up his game. Players now know how he plays. It's just a matter of what can Kvara do now to make his game more unpredictable. Can he change it up a little bit? If the answer is no, I think he still remains a good player. I'm never gonna say that Kvara is a bad player. It just means that maybe he might not be at the level that Mbappe has reached. Because Mbappe, he finds ways every season, I think, to improve himself, differentiate himself, add elements to his game, but even he is not perfect. Mbappe doesn't track back in defense. Mbappe is someone that literally forced Neymar and Messi out of the team because he wanted to be the star of the show. So he has very real negative consequences on a team outside of the 90 minutes of football. He's a bit toxic. And guess what? PSG might lose this guy for free next season or this season, at the end of this season, because he's after the bag, even though he's earning like 50 million a year. So there are elements to Mbappe that you're like, yes, he's a very good player, but he's not perfect. And Zedane says, has Kvara won a World Cup? Well, no, he hasn't. I mean, Mbappe is an exceptional player. I'm not saying he isn't, and winning a World Cup doesn't necessarily mean everything. I mean, Messi until last year hadn't won a World Cup. And when you play for a team like Georgia, winning the World Cup is not even in the equation. I mean, let's just be honest. France could win the World Cup with or without Mbappe, in my opinion. Obviously, they have a better chance with Mbappe, but they have a fantastic team, so you can't really hold that against each other. All I'm saying is that it's kind of pointless to compare Kvara and Mbappe because they both have negatives to their game. I don't want to make it seem like one is perfect and the other is not. Fabrizio says your title is perfect, Dom. Osimhen and Anguissa good. Yeah. And let's talk about the title, anti-football, guys. There was one shot by Juventus on goal today for Meret, and they score. Other than that, not much. And they're playing at home. Especially the first half was horrible, horrible, guys. And then you have Juventus in the second half from the 70th minute onwards, playing five at the back, deep, deep, deep into their box, super deep into their box, guys. Something that I've never seen before. I've posted it. If you want the screenshot, guys, I've posted on Twitter. So make sure that you follow Napoli Talk on Twitter. All right, because then you'll see the screenshot. Lorenzo says Bitcoin going through the roof. That's why I moved to Dubai. Big moves. No, that's not the reason. It's, yeah, man. Dubai though has some crazy things going on here, with yeah, like the money that you see here in Dubai is crazy, unreal, unreal. Anyways, Alessandro's just very, very, very mad at Kvara, calling him a bottle job. Um, I want to ask Alessandro a question actually. Uh, if you were to bench Kvara, who would you play? I can launch a poll because I can't. I'm not on the computer, but I want to use that as inspiration to ask you guys, who would you play instead of Kvara? Would you still play Kvara, or would you play someone else? And if so, who? I like Sevdan's comment. Di Lorenzo's crossing is so poor. Yeah, it's true. So true, guys. I mean, he had an assist last game against. Was it against not the last game, but against either Real Madrid or Atalanta. I can't remember which one. I think it was Atalanta that Di Lorenzo had a, yeah, against Atalanta, that Di Lorenzo crossed the ball and Kvara headed it. But if you take a look at the amount of crosses that Di Lorenzo takes and the amount that those get converted into assists, or even that get converted into the ball reaching Osimhen, is super low. Guys, it's incredible how bad he is at finding a person. Like, guys, Di Lorenzo can't cross the ball higher than 1 meter high. It is a problem, and I'm glad that Sevdan also notices. I don't think that's. I don't really comment on it much because I don't think that's our main problem right now. It's not about the height of Di Lorenzo's crosses. Obviously, that does play a part because it means we're super ineffective on that right hand side. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to notice it. Good to talk about it, and good that some people actually agree with me on that one. Because when I've talked to some people in person about it, they're like, "No, what are you talking about? Di Lorenzo's amazing." Payman, welcome to the chat. Says Don, we know Juve is disgusting, but they are not our problem. They do that every game. What did Napoli do in the second half? Pathetic performance for me. 2 chances all game. All right, let's break that down. Let's break that comment down into several parts. Juventus being disgusting, we know that. Regardless of how they play, they're just disgusting. But they also play very disgusting. So I agree with you there. The fact that we played badly in the second half, I agree with you there. I don't think we showed any desire, any real grinta, cazzima to try to get the game back on its head. I'll give you guys a statistic. Last year, Napoli went behind 9 times and came back to win. That didn't happen this time. So that is something that we need to work on. What I will disagree with you on is the fact that saying we only created 2 chances. I mean, in theory, creating 2 chances away from home at the Juventus Stadium is not bad. It's not bad. It's what you expect, right? Like, you don't go to the Juventus Stadium and create 10 chances. But top teams are supposed to make those 2 chances and then convert them, at least one of them. And we didn't do that. So that's where I think the problem lies. It's in the conversion of the 2 chances, not so much that we only created 2 chances. Because, guys, Inter didn't create many chances against Juventus. Juventus connect, guys. Okay, I think I'm reconnected. There was a little bit of a of a poor connection. There we back. Are we back? Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me and see me. Let me know if we're back live. Put that down in the comments, guys. Come on, I'm waiting for you. Give me a sign. Give me a sign, guys. Let me know if I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you, L.K. Alright, alright. Alright, we're back. Yeah, so I was saying, it's about those two chances, about converting them. Lorenzo saying Juve wanted it more, Napoli isn't playing bad though. Yeah, that's the thing. We need to want it more, and I think some of these players, they achieved something of a lifetime. Di Lorenzo was playing in Serie C 5 years ago, so they've achieved something incredible, and we have to now reset. And they say that winning it again for a second time is the hardest thing to do, and that's what we got to do. And that's what I think separates amazing teams from the good ones. Let's see. Sevdan says those two chances are enough to win a game, but you have to take them. Exactly. That's what I mean. I think we did enough to win the game, but we didn't take it. We didn't. I don't know if it's. And I don't know why we didn't take them. Like, I don't know if it's Kvara overthinking it when he took the shot, whether he wanted to chip the ball, whether he didn't know if to chip it or shoot a top corner, and then it came something really bad. Whether it's, I don't know, a lack of confidence and he starts doubting himself. I really don't know why they're missing these chances, or if it's an element of just bad luck. And sometimes there's years where you just have incredible bad luck. I remember one season we hit the post like 3 million times, and last year we didn't hit the post barely. We barely hit the post last year. I mean, there was a lot of goals last year that went in by a few millimeters, no? Or they were post and in, whereas 2 years ago and this year it seems to be post and out. So there's definitely an element of luck that's not really going our way this year. And I don't want to make an excuse, but I mean, that's kind of important in football at times. Vincenzo says Osimhen also was not involved too much in the game. When he is alone in the box, we cannot just rely on crossing blindly on him. Anyways, wasn't a bad performance, deserved better. Yeah, I think that's the key of Napoli. Like, how do we get the best out of Osimhen? How do we unlock Osimhen? Because we're so good at keeping the ball up until we get to the... Oh my god, did you hear that behind me? That car? We're so good at holding the ball up until the edge of the box, and then it just seems like we don't really know what to do afterwards. So we definitely got to improve how to get the best out of Osimhen, how to put him in that position where he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And I think that involves not just how we play the ball to Osimhen from the midfield, but it also involves Politano and Kvara having to maybe get closer to him in the center, and I don't know. We have to work something out. I don't have the answer to it. How many wins in a row against... Alright guys, there seems to be a bit of a problem with the connection actually. So I'm gonna make this quick. I'm gonna just give you guys my player ratings for this. Meret, I'm gonna give him a 5.5, just because maybe I feel like he could have come out a bit better for the Gatti goal. Doesn't command the box. The entire defense, I'm gonna give them a 5. They shouldn't have conceded that goal, and I don't know, they're a bit shaky. Nathan I didn't like on the left. Doesn't seem comfortable, doesn't give you anything going forward. Di Lorenzo, his crossing was poor. Is not able to get into the same rhythm as last year, and when he had that chance in the box, you have to hit the target from there. I don't care that you're a right back, you have to hit the target. Rahmani and Juan Jesus, they needed to do better for the goal. Um, then the midfield, I think, was all right. I think that was maybe some of our best bits, but I'll give them a 6 because I think they struggled anyways. Um, they struggled to like find not against the Juventus midfield, but they struggled to find the opening for Osimhen. I'm gonna give them a 6. The Kvara miss is really bad, so he deserves a 5. The same way we criticize Meret when he has a bad performance, a bad moment, we have to criticize Kvara when he has a bad moment, and then we have the things that he does on the field, the nutmegs, the attempted shots. But I mean, those are nice, but we need to win games, no? And the most important thing was to win the game, was to score a goal, and yeah, the 4 nutmegs are super nice, but it needs to be more concrete. Um, Nutmegging for the sake of nutmegging, I don't know. Um, Osimhen, unfortunately, he couldn't do much today. He battled, but he gets a 6 because wasn't decisive enough. But then again, how could he be? How could he be? So just a standard 6, and Politano as well. I did like the guys that came off from the bench though. I liked Zanoli. I want to see more of him. Elmas also looks sharp. And yeah, Cajusta and the others, Simeone didn't really have that much time to show what they were about. But let's hope, guys. Let's hope that we manage to get this team ticking again. Again, these were super tough opponents that we faced: Juventus, Inter, Real Madrid. I mean, 3 losses is not nice at all, but let's consider the context that we were in, and let's remember that at the end of the day, we're not fighting for the title this year. It was super obvious. We're in this journey of trying to get Champions League football, and the only way that it's going to happen is through playing better, tightening up the defense, and let's hope that Mazzarri can keep improving this team. I've seen improvements. Let's hope that we can keep improving. And now we should have a run of games that is a bit more easy. And let's get the confidence back. Let's get our mojo back, and let's see where we go from there. Another aspect, as Danger is saying, is the physicality aspect. The physicality aspect is important, guys, because if you are Mazzarri and you tell this team to go press for 90 minutes, if that's the winning tactic to get this Napoli team playing well, to press high, win the ball back high, and all that, even though that's technically what they should be doing, like the physicality is just not there. Like we're not in the right athletic condition. Maybe some of you guys know this, or maybe some of you don't, but the athletic coach that has been with Napoli for the last like 10 years left us this summer because Garcia wanted to put his own people in. Then Garcia left, with leaving us in a really bad athletic condition, and he didn't leave behind the the athletic data of the players. So Mazzarri literally had to start from scratch. So he's learning about this team. He's literally gathering data for the first times. And yeah, even if the right tactic is to press high, press intensely, the players just don't have that in them for 90 minutes because Garcia did a horrible training on them this summer to prepare them for this, because that wasn't part of his game. That wasn't part of his plan. Maximus, welcome to the chat, says, what is up with ADL calling Neapolitans losers? Yeah, ADL has kind of lost the plot, to be honest, in recent days. He's made several strange comments. Maybe I'll make a separate short on that. So let's see how that goes in the next few days. But yeah, I'm gonna comment on that, I think, separately, because it deserves me reading out his quotes, which I don't have in front of me. So yeah, there's a lot of talk about Lindstrom as well. Lindstrom's come back from an injury. Um, Mazzarri hasn't seen him all that much. He said he's looked at videos of where he played in Eintracht, and he said, look, at Eintracht he was playing in a different system, in a position that we currently don't have right now in this team. And he's like, I can see that he has qualities, but I don't know honestly yet where to position him. That's the truth. He was very blunt and honest about it, and let's hope that he finds a spot for Lindstrom. Um, Otherwise, questions need to be asked about who bought Lindstrom, because Garcia clearly didn't like him. Mazzarri doesn't like him. So he's kind of a mystery object for coaches. So was it De Laurentiis? Was it Meluso? If it was Meluso, it's not a great look that you've had this 30 million budget in the last few weeks of the mercato and you bought a guy that's not useful. We're really missing a guy that's like Lozano, who's right-footed and likes to stay on the wing to spread the defense wide. I'm not saying I want Lozano back, for goodness sake, because Lozano was a disaster, in my opinion. I'm not saying we need Lozano back, but we do need a right-footed player on the right-hand side that likes to stay on the wing. Because when you put Raspadori, when you put Lindstrom, they like to get central, and that doesn't help with spreading the other team's defense up. So we're missing that player. Obviously, Politano likes to cut inside on his left a lot. So we don't get that with Politano. He's trying at times to go on the right, but the problem with Politano going on his right foot is it's a very technical problem. He doesn't have the power in his right leg to cross the ball far with his right foot. Have you noticed that whenever he crosses with his right foot, it's always when he's at the edge of the box on the right hand side? If he goes further back, he literally doesn't have the pace in his crosses to do it. His crosses with his right foot, they're very lobby kind of crosses. They're lobs. They're not strong. That means that we don't have a right winger on this team that can cross the ball hard and fast and while running at speed with their right foot. And at times you need that. As much as I don't like Lozano, at times he gave us that option. And we don't have that because Raspadori doesn't like to be in that position. Lindstrom doesn't like to be in that position. They like to get central. There is no one touching the right-hand side whipping crosses. Now that Oliveira is gone and Mairo is gone, there's no one that's doing that on the left-hand side either, because Kvara also is not whipping left foot crosses in at pace. So basically Osimhen is not receiving any fast crosses. And the opposition knows that. So they know that even if we have a counterattack, we're going to cut inside, we're going to lose time. Guys, the problem with this team, it's not Mazzarri, it's not the individual players, is that it's not a complete team. It's not a complete squad. It's missing players. It's like, imagine you have a car and then, like this is a car without the brakes, or this is a car without the blinkers. Like, you can't drive it well. Maybe those are a car without brakes is a bit extreme. It's not that extreme for us, but it's a car that doesn't have sixth gear. It's not. It does like it. We're just not complete. We have some great elements. We have like this great, other quality, but it's missing some key elements as well. That's what I feel, and I think a lot of that is the fact that we don't have a real replacement for Lozano. And yeah, Zevdan says we need new players. It's gonna be interesting, guys. We're in December now. We're in December, and January is going to be interesting. And I hope that De Laurentiis I hope that De Laurentiis buy some players because, guys, as I said when he hired Mazzarri, I said this is going to be important, hiring Mazzarri, because you can once by hiring Garcia, but you can't afford to screw up twice with Mazzarri. Mazzarri's got to be the guy, all right? And I think he can improve us. He's not amazing, but I think he can improve us. So that's fine. But also now when it comes to the transfer market, you can screw up once. Fine. I'll give you that. Even though it's in 18 years he's done that so many times. But let's say I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he can screw up once for this summer. He can't screw up again this winter. He can't. He absolutely cannot. He can't afford to screw up twice in a row when we're in this position. He has to go out and buy players. He has the funds. And if you don't have the funds, then think about your business model. Think about the fact that maybe you need to partner up with someone. You know, maybe you got to give part of that baby away. So, yeah, that's really what it is that you got to do. Today the players didn't have structure and strategy, yeah. Payman says we need a goalkeeper, left back, center back, and right wing. To spend 65 million on Raspadori and Lindstrom when we don't have any right wing, yeah, we suck. Yeah, we should get people in those positions 100%. We need a 100 million euro budget because we need good players. Now any player that comes, even average, is like 20-30 million now. So, yeah, that's the problem right now. That's the problem. Sevdan says, bruh, Lindstrom is a right wing. I don't know how people are not seeing that he is a replacement to Lozano. Lindstrom, he likes to go a bit more central. And I think his best position is a bit more central. You won't see him hugging the bar line. I'm not saying that he can't play, like, in a 4-3-3, he can play on the right, but he's not going to be on the touchline. I think he's going to be a little bit more in the inside. And sometimes when you play against a 5-man defense, which you get in Italy, you need someone literally on the touchline. And that's what I don't think we have with Lindstrom. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not so familiar with this game. Maybe. Adela needs to sell or new equity investors. We cannot continue like that. Yeah. Or just get a debt. You know? Leverage the company a little bit. If you don't want to lose control, get some debt. Do something. But, you know, work on better sponsors. Like, there's a million things you could do. A million things. We have such a bad way to monetize the crowd that we have, the fan base that we have. It was so difficult for people to order shirts in America. This is all lost money. Guys, it's not that hard. Like, he doesn't even have to do crazy things. Like, he just needs to make sure that what is easily attainable, he can achieve it. Such as making sure that people who want to buy merchandise can actually buy the merchandise. Anthony Navarro says, hey Dom, here is a like. Thanks. Forza Napoli sempre. We outplayed Juve in my opinion, but again, not finishing costs, especially because our defense is so weak. Last year we had Kim cover poor defensive performances. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And also last year, we were scoring. We were putting chances away. We were scoring for fun last year. We were playing with confidence, with fluidity. We weren't overthinking it, and it was great. So there was a lot of things that are different. We've got players missing. Kim, as I said last week, he doesn't allow us to... The defense that we currently have without Kim means that Di Lorenzo has to also be a bit more alert and not push as high. And obviously, before when he was pushing high, even if he wasn't touching the ball or scoring or assisting, he was just an extra thing that the opposition needed to do. in their box, which would free Osimhen a little more. So there's a lot of things that Kim's departure impacted. Adiele does not increase revenue, he only cuts cost. This limits your upside. Yeah, 100%. Obviously he tries to increase revenue. I'm sure he has many initiatives. Uh, Obviously his biggest thing is to cut on salaries. But yeah, and also he hates long-term investment. Like he will not build a youth academy for Napoli because you're gonna you need the infrastructure. You need to build the infrastructure. It's gonna cost you a couple tens of millions to build it. You need to run it. That's expensive. It's gonna take time. By the time like a 10-year-old would maybe get into the first team, it's gonna be at least 8 or 9 years, if and if you get one, that's good enough. And then probably for that person to make a difference, it's gonna be another 2 years. So this investment maybe might pay off with one player in like 10 years time. No way De Laurentiis is putting the money today for something that he maybe only gets a reward for in 10 years time. But it's a problem, the fact that we don't have youth players, because it means that we are forced to look into the transfer market, and the transfer market now, players are super expensive. Whereas you've got other teams like Juventus, who have last season put in some players into the first team from their youth academy, and now they're reaping the benefits. Cambiasso with the cross today for Gatti, he was part of their youth academy. But we don't do that anymore, or we don't do that, and we won't. So that's the problem. And Payman also says that it was impossible to order the shirt in London. Yeah. Barak says Nathan and Jesus are terrible defenders. I don't know what's happened with Nathan, man. He started strongly. But I think it's difficult to play well when every week your defensive partner is changing. One week you're playing center back, one week you're playing left back, one week you're with Rachmani, the other with Juan Jesus. The team's not playing well, the midfield's not covering for you after a certain number of minutes in the game. It's tough, so I want to hold judgment against Nathan, to be honest. I want to give him the full season. And Danger says, I'm really sad when I know how good players we have, but they're lacking so much in comparison to last year. Yeah, and I'm also sad that this loss also means that Juventus is first. I mean, if there was one game that I didn't want to lose, it was against Juventus. But guys, let's just hope that these players still have a little bit of belief. Let's go from there, and let's hope that they will show us in the next game what they're capable of. The opposition won't be as strong as it has been in recent weeks, so I think that will be the first fair test for Mazzarri. Anyways, guys, it's super late here, like almost 3 a.m. I hope you guys have a somewhat enjoyable weekend, that this doesn't ruin your mood too much, this loss. And I will be going to bed. And as always, guys, even though we lost, Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.